GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon. A massive tree toppled on Dundas near Sherborne, knocking out power and sending streetcars on detours, while the beloved Yorkville Murals Festival may be saying goodbye after 2026. And traffic is moving slowly along the downtown core this afternoon. Over to you, Nathan.
The Midland Concert will take place at the historic Midland Center on next Saturday, featuring local indie band The Maple Leaves performing from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Tickets are priced at $25 for adults, $15 for students, and free for children under 12, with online sales opening this Tuesday and limited seats available.
Public transit will serve the venue via the 511 Midland Line, and a temporary parking lot on Oak Street offers 90 spots on a first-come, first-served basis.
Lots to get to. Let's begin our day with the news as we head out for lunch together today. Here are our top stories.
An uprooted tree on Dundas Street West at Sherborne collapsed just before 7 in the morning, downing power lines and prompting Toronto Hydro, police, fire, and TTC to reroute streetcars. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
Just before 7 a.m. this Monday, a large tree came down on Dundas Street West at the Sherborne intersection, taking down several overhead power lines. Toronto Hydro crews were on scene within minutes, clearing debris and beginning repairs to restore electricity to the block. Toronto Police Service set up detours and directed traffic, while Toronto Fire Services secured the area and checked for any lingering hazards. The Toronto Transit Commission rerouted streetcars around the outage, shifting service to alternate tracks and advising riders of the temporary change. Power is still being restored, and crews remain on site as the city works to clear the roadway. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Dundas.
Organizers of the Yorkville Murals Festival announced August 2026 could be its final year, ending a tradition that began in 2019 and attracted nearly 70,000 visitors each August. Dev Shohri has the full story.
Organizers of the Yorkville Murals Street Festival say the beloved August event may be running its final show in 2026. Launched in 2019, the celebration has turned the Blorian stretch of Yorkville into an open-air gallery, with dozens of large-scale murals popping up each summer. Artists from across Canada and abroad have contributed, turning storefronts and alleyways into vibrant canvases that pulse with color. Attendance has hovered around 70,000 visitors each year, drawing locals and tourists alike to the upscale neighborhood. Officials cite rising costs and shifting sponsor priorities as reasons the committee is considering ending the tradition after this summer's edition. If the decision holds, the city will lose a key cultural draw that has helped define Yorkville's summer vibe. Dev Shohri, GMNA News, Yorkville.
A new CAMH survey shows Ontario youth psychological distress has fallen since the pandemic, though it remains above levels recorded 10 years ago. Officials say the decline follows years of heightened stress. Dev Shohri has the full story.
Psychological distress among Ontario's youth has slipped from its pandemic peak, a new Centre for Addiction and Mental Health survey shows, yet it still sits above the levels recorded a decade ago. The study, conducted in 2026, compared current scores with data gathered before the coronavirus outbreak and found a modest drop since the height of the crisis. Officials say the pandemic drove a sharp rise in anxiety and depression, prompting a sustained tracking effort that began in early 2022. While the recent dip offers a sigh of relief, the numbers remain higher than the pre-pandemic baseline, keeping mental health services on alert today. Dev Shohri, GMNA News, Toronto.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford will speak on the province's economic outlook in Hamilton Monday afternoon, joined by Ministers Vic Fedeli and Peter Bethlen-Falvey, as the U.S.-Canada trade dispute escalates. Dev Shohri has the full story.
Premier Doug Ford is set to outline Ontario's economic outlook this Monday afternoon in Hamilton, flanked by Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade Minister Vic Fedeli and Finance Minister Peter Bethlen-Falvey. The trio will address how the province plans to navigate the growing United States-Canada trade dispute, which officials say could ripple through local businesses and jobs. As the bilateral trade fight intensifies, Ontario's government is holding a series of public briefings to field questions and outline contingency measures. Leaders emphasize the need for proactive steps to shield the province's manufacturing base and preserve cross-border supply chains. The remarks come amid broader provincial preparations for any economic fallout. Dev Showri, GMNA News, Hamilton.
Toronto will enforce tougher rules on cutting protected trees starting September 1, 2026, tightening the bylaw for property owners citywide. The changes aim to preserve urban canopy. Simone Okonkwo has the full story.
Under the new bylaw, any property owner who wants to remove a tree classified as protected must first obtain a permit and submit a detailed site plan, something the city says will make approvals harder to secure. The changes also require a qualified arborist to assess each tree's health and propose alternatives before work can begin. Existing permits remain valid, but any new request after September 1, 2026 will be judged against the tighter criteria. City officials estimate the stricter rules will curb illegal removals and expect measurable results by 2027. Residents are encouraged to review the updated guidelines before any landscaping project proceeds. Simone Okonkwo, GMNA News, Toronto.
Ontario firms are gearing up for new tariffs after trade talks fell apart, and we'll break down what it means. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Ontario businesses are bracing for possible tariffs after the United States and Canada trade negotiations collapsed on Friday night, leaving firms uncertain about future trade costs. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Ontario manufacturers and exporters are reviewing supply chains, adjusting pricing, and consulting legal teams as the prospect of new duties looms after the United States and Canada failed to seal a trade pact on Friday night. The breakdown left many firms uncertain about whether tariffs on autos, agricultural products, and machinery could be imposed as early as next quarter. Business groups in Toronto and Hamilton say they are stockpiling inventory and seeking alternate markets in Europe and Asia to mitigate potential cost spikes. Canadian negotiators have indicated they will appeal to the World Trade Organization if unilateral tariffs are announced, while U.S. officials say they are reviewing the situation. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
Unifor and General Motors reached a tentative labor agreement for thousands of Ontario auto workers, improving wages and benefits. Simone Okonkwo has the full story.
Negotiators from Unifor and General Motors have just announced a tentative agreement covering the automaker's Ontario workforce. The deal, reached after weeks of bargaining, will affect thousands of employees at GM's assembly plants across the province. Under the terms, workers will see wage increases and expanded benefit packages, including higher hourly rates and enhanced health coverage. Both sides said the agreement includes wage increases and expanded benefits, keeping the plants competitive while providing a more stable income for staff. The tentative pact still requires ratification by union members before it becomes binding. If approved, the new contract could set a benchmark for future negotiations in the Canadian auto sector. Simone Okonkwo, GMNA News, Toronto.
An Ontario Superior Court judge released a woman charged with human trafficking on bail, bypassing the province's new requirement for a cash deposit within 48 hours. Dev Showri has the full story.
On August 26, 2026, a Superior Court judge in Toronto ordered the release of a woman charged with human trafficking, setting bail without demanding the cash deposit required under Ontario's new bail reforms. The regulations introduced this year stipulate that a full cash payment must be posted within 48 hours for certain serious offenses. In this case, the judge elected to waive that condition, allowing the defendant to walk free while the case proceeds. Provincial officials have noted that the decision runs contrary to the mandatory deposit rule, but no further action has been taken so far. The matter adds another example of how the new framework is being applied in practice. Dev Shouhri, GMNA News, Toronto.
Ontario announced a new strategy to lure AI data center investment, promising economic growth while evaluating Toronto's electricity grid capacity and funding needs for upgrades. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Ontario's new strategy rolls out in 2026, targeting artificial intelligence data centers as the next engine of growth. The province says the plan will lure domestic and foreign investors, spin up high-tech jobs, and position Toronto as a continental hub for AI workloads. At the same time, officials are commissioning a grid impact study to gauge how the influx of power-hungry facilities will stress Toronto's electricity network. The report will examine whether existing lines can handle the load or if upgrades will be required, and who will foot the bill for those upgrades. Critics warn the city's aging infrastructure could buckle under rapid expansion, while supporters argue the economic upside justifies the investment. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
The Toronto Zoo officially named its newborn pygmy hippocalf Maple, a nod to the animal's Canadian roots after the recent birth at the facility. Dev Shouhri has the full story.
Today, the Toronto Zoo announced that its newest pygmy hippopotamus has been officially christened Maple. The tiny calf, born just weeks earlier, was presented to the public during a brief ceremony at the zoo's main entrance. Staff explained that the name reflects the animal's Canadian roots and the autumn foliage that inspired the choice. Keepers noted that the calf is thriving, nursing well, and already showing the playful behavior typical of its species. The naming follows the recent birth that has drawn visitors to the exhibit, adding another attraction to the zoo's family collection. The zoo plans to feature Maple in upcoming educational programs throughout the season. Dev Shouhri, GMNA News, Toronto.
Let's get a look at your afternoon forecast with our weather team.
A strengthening northwest jet and rising pressure are steering a dry, overcast spell across Toronto today. On this date, Toronto once burned to 33.2 degrees Celsius back in 2020, a record set during an unprecedented late summer heat wave that pushed the city into the high 30s for several days. The cold side of the ledger belongs to 2004, when a lingering Arctic dip drove temperatures down to 12.8 degrees, the coldest August reading on record. By contrast, today's climatological normals sit near 20 degrees for the high and 15 for the low, a modest middle ground between those extremes. On the live radar, the Western Lake effect band is still dry, but a modest pulse of rain is marching eastward from the Niagara corridor. The echo intensifies around 2 p.m. as a shortwave rides the northwest jet, then fans out across the Greater Toronto area by 2:15 p.m. By 3 p.m., the precipitating core clears, leaving a clean overcast that will linger through the evening as high pressure builds aloft. At noon, Toronto sits under a blanket of cloud at 16 degrees, with a southwest wind blowing 24 kilometers per hour. The atmosphere is dominated by near-average pressure that is slowly rising, squeezing out the lingering moisture and ushering in a more stable layer. Overhead, the jet stream streams northwest at 64 kilometers per hour, steering any stray disturbances well east of the city. With the sun filtered by high cloud, the UV index reads 4. Winds will gust up to 28 kilometers per hour from the west this afternoon, feeling noticeably brisk. Temperatures climb to a high of 20 degrees by mid-afternoon before slipping back toward 18 as dusk approaches. No precipitation is expected and there are no active weather alerts. That brings us to the 5-day outlook. The 5-day package starts Tuesday with another overcast day, highs holding at 20 degrees and lows at 15, a continuation of today's modest warmth. Wednesday breaks the cloud cover, climbing to a high of 24 degrees and a low of 15, though a 25% chance of rain lingers in the late afternoon as a weak trough nudges the jet. Thursday turns clear and warm, reaching 26 degrees with a low of 17 and only a 20% rain probability. Friday eases back to mainly clear skies, high 23 and low 17, while Saturday retains a clear sky and a high of 22, low 17, capping a mild stretch. The pattern stays under the same northwest jet, keeping temperatures steady and precipitation scarce. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic's building downtown, the Midland concert starts tonight, and the Blue Jays meet the Cubs. Stay with us, we will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
All major routes are moving freely this morning. The Gardiner, the Don Valley Parkway, Highway 4, and the 6-lane stretch of the 401 between the QEW and the Highway 42 are clear of delays. On the east side, the Don Valley Road and Leslie Street are running at normal speed, and the Lakeshore East Corridor shows no backups. With no incidents reported, commuters can expect a smooth ride into the downtown core. Transit is also operating on schedule. Streetcars on the 501 and 504 routes, as well as the subway's Yonge University line, report no service issues. Looking ahead to the afternoon, the usual build-up around the financial district may start as office workers head home, so drivers should allow a few extra minutes on the Gardiner and the downtown core after 5 o'clock. For now, enjoy the clear roads and on-time transit. We'll keep you posted if conditions change.
Midland takes a stage tonight at Scotiabank Arena, delivering fresh-cut country vibes that make a perfect summer soundtrack, and you'll hear their new album Live. Tomorrow, the Blue Jays face the Kansas City Royals at the Rogers Center, a home-run showdown for baseball fans with a rivalry that fires up the downtown crowd. Also tomorrow, Australian duo Empire of the Sun lights up the RBC Amphitheater with their Ask That God tour, promising neon-filled beats and a dance floor vibe that feels like a Midsummer Night's Rave, plus a visual show that fills the sky. Looking ahead, the TNO Summer Festival rolls onto Thorncliffe Park on August 29, offering food vendors, live music, and family-friendly activities. Bring a picnic, explore the art installations, and stay for the sunset concert on the main stage. Grab your tickets, rally your crew, and make the most of Toronto's vibrant scene before the week winds down. And now here's Marcus with sports.
Big headlines for Toronto baseball as the Jays gear up for new challenges. During the ESPN telecast of the Little League Classic between the Brewers and Braves, Commissioner Rob Manfred confirmed the Toronto Blue Jays will square off against the Chicago Cubs in the 2027 edition. The matchup guarantees a high-profile showcase for the Jays and deepens their connection with youth baseball across the country. In Sunday's series finale, the New York Yankees rolled past the Toronto Blue Jays with an 8-3 victory. Jazz Chisholm delivered a 2-run blast, while Ben Rice contributed 2 hits and 2 RBIs, underscoring New York's offensive firepower and leaving Toronto scrambling to regroup. The Jays' 3-game winning streak snapped Sunday, but the loss to New York opens a crucial stretch as Toronto battles for a favorable spot with more than half of the American League still on the line. Every upcoming series now carries heightened weight for playoff positioning. Stay tuned as Toronto chases momentum and eyes the playoff race.
Thanks, Marcus. Green Shield, now open in downtown Toronto's Commerce Court South, is Canada's only national nonprofit health care and insurance organization. Today the doors swung open on a fresh office that brings 700 staff under one roof, uniting the team that once scattered across the city. The move means faster, more coordinated service for Ontarians, from simple claims to complex health programs, and signals a stronger local presence in the heart of the financial district. For Torontonians, it's a reminder that a city built on caring for its people can thrive when the people who protect our health choose to work right here. Green Shield's downtown home is a boost for the neighborhood's economy and community spirit. Councillor Diane Sax's shift to run in an open ward is coming up next. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Toronto officials are unveiling a major housing development plan today at City Hall, promising new affordable units and revitalized neighborhoods across the city. The announcement could reshape the downtown skyline and impact thousands of residents, and set the stage for future growth. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks, Jordan Parker. I'm standing in the marble-faced atrium of Toronto City Hall, the vaulted ceiling echoing the shuffle of reporters and the low murmur of city staff. Sunlight streams through the glass dome, catching the brass plaque that reads 60 Queen Street West, while a banner draped across the north wall proclaims a new housing initiative. At 10:30 a.m. this Monday, August 2026, Danielle Martin, MP for University, Rosedale, Her Worship Olivia Chow, Mayor of Toronto, and Deputy Mayor Osma Malik will step onto the stage beside a sleek podium. The scent of fresh coffee mingles with the faint scent of rain on the concrete outside, and a line of media laptops flickers with live feed graphics. As the crowd settles, the weight of the announcement feels tangible. Hundreds of families could soon find affordable homes right in the heart of the city. This moment marks a turning point for Toronto's housing future, putting community needs front and center. Carl Dumont, virtually at City Hall.
Welcome back. Councillor Diane Sachs has withdrawn from her planned contest against former councillor Mike Layton and entered the Open University Rosedale ward, which she has represented since 2022, while Layton served since 2010. Dev Shourie has the full story.
Councillor Diane Sachs has abandoned her slated contest against former councillor Mike Layton, opting instead to run in a vacant Toronto City Council ward. The shift was announced on August 21, 2026, just days before the filing deadline. Sachs, who has represented University Rosedale since 2022, said the open seat offers a better chance to serve the city. Layton, who held the same ward from 2010 until his recent retirement, will now focus on community initiatives outside council. The decision leaves both campaigns scrambling to reorient their strategies as the municipal election clock ticks down. From the bustling streets outside City Hall, residents expressed a mix of surprise and curiosity about the sudden change. Dev Shourie, GMNA News, Toronto.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford has yet to answer a petition urging the LCBO to restock U.S.-origin alcoholic beverages after a year of empty shelves, sparking consumer frustration across the province. Dev Shourie has the full story.
Ontario shoppers have gone a full year without seeing any American origin wine, whiskey or beer on the shelves of the province's Liquor Control Board stores. Advocacy groups and retailers have sent a formal request to the Premier's office, urging a reversal of the current restriction and asking that U.S. products be restocked. To date, Premier Doug Ford has not issued a comment, leaving the proposal in limbo. The absence of cross-border labels has sparked frustration among consumers who cite price differentials and limited choice, while industry insiders note the potential revenue impact for the LCBO. No timeline has been provided for a possible policy shift. Dev Shourie, GMNA News, Toronto.
Thank you, Toronto, for joining us on the lunch break. It was a pleasure sharing the excitement of the Toronto Zoo's new pygmy hippo calf, Maple, and the latest updates on our city's power grid. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you.